Entonces yo voy a pasar mi sitio para el doctor.
Muchas gracias, presidente ejecutivo. Estamos rearreglando la mesa. Yo soy Wono Kim. Es mi gran honor moderar esta teleconferencia tan importante. Hoy tenemos 4 presentaciones, 2 presentaciones sobre el estado actual de cada parte y 2 presentaciones sobre el tema de cooperación internacional. Pues que tenemos tiempo limitado, por ahora 20 minutos para cada presentación, pero pues que se lleva a cabo por la traducción simultánea, tendríamos que limitar cada presentación a 10 a máximo 15 minutos. Agradecería mucho su entendimiento. Para su información, nosotros estamos grabando esta teleconferencia por el uso público para más tarde. Y yo no voy a presentar en detalle los exponentes en términos de tiempo limitado. Primero, invitamos al doctor Inge del Centro Médico de ASA.
Nice to meet you. My name is Inge Kim. I'm here to present the medical aspect of COVID-19 in Korea. I'm sorry for my poor Spanish, so I want to present in English. I'm primarily the infectious disease physician, and I also have experience in public health project in Africa and Asia. And I also participated in broad government association for response to COVID-19 since January 2020. Thank you very much. So this is the epidemiologic curve of the COVID-19 patients in Korea. I picked it from the homepage of the Korean CDC. The blue line shows the number of the confirmed patients, and the orange line shows the suspected patients and tested patients. Okay. So as you can see, the first patient came to Korea in 20th of January, and the case peaked at the end of February and early March. So right now, it seems that the first wave is just diminishing. So I want to divide the time period, the early period and the explosive phase, and I want to show some of the peculiar pictures what we have done in each period. So at the start of the epidemic, mainly the cases were returned travelers from China and Japan, and almost every patient admitted to hospital regardless of the severity. So the disease prevention strategy was the containment. We traced the patient and we identified the exposed population, and we examined and also quarantined the exposed population. This is probably what we call the 3P. So this was the basic strategy at the beginning of the epidemic. So what the government and also the academic part started was we started the development and rapid approval of the test kit. RT-PCR is a method of detecting the nucleoside of the virus. So the virus sample was shared by the hospital and the Korean CDC, and the samples were provided to the companies, and the companies and also the physicians, they developed and tested the RT-PCR kit. So we successfully finished this job. So initially we could have capacity to test thousands of people, and it was scaled up in a few weeks to hundreds of thousands of tests a day. So the next thing we discussed was the procurement of the medical resources. So we expected that there is a possibility that a surge of a patient could happen in Korea. So we checked what would be needed in a situation where the patient, if the number of patients is urgently rising. So we checked what medical hospital resource is needed. So the most important is personal protective equipment like gowns, gloves, and masks. And we also checked the portable X-ray machine because we cannot share the X-ray machine between the patient and patient with other disease. And we also checked the transient negative pressure machine because with this machine we can change the hospital room for suitable for the COVID patient. We also recruited the epidemiology intelligence service officers urgently, and we also checked how we can recruit the doctors and nurses. And we also want to procure the test kit, as I said from the previous slide. And we also want try to procure the drugs, and we started talking with international companies. And in every other and healthcare system was restructured to take care of the COVID patient. This is just an example which happened in Gyeonggi province, one of the largest provinces in Korea. So there are many community health centers which is classified into the public system. So the community health centers were changed to capable of the massive test, suitable for massive test of the suspected patient. And 6 hospitals, which is included in the public system, were changed to the COVID hospital. This includes the financial support because the hospital cannot earn any other funding from the patient. And it also includes the change of the hardware, like the negative pressure room, and also education of the healthcare workers, and also providing the personal protective equipment. And it includes like this way. So 6 hospitals in one province was changed just specifically to take care of the COVID-19 patient. And one university hospital was assigned for treatment of the severe COVID patient only. So this hospital, they did not take care of the mild patient. Their only role was just to take care of the severe COVID patient who needs the ventilators or the ECMO, like that way. And also the pregnant patient also was sent to this hospital because there's a situation that the mother could be very ill, and some the neonate could be also, the babies become infected with the SARS-CoV-2. So the pregnant patient was transferred to this hospital. So this is an example of what we have done in the for restructure of the public health system to take care of the rapid surge of the COVID-19 patient. So at the explosive page at the end of the February and early March, the patient surge will happen as we worried. It was the main patients were mainly associated with the massive religious gathering in a church in Daegu City, and small hospital outbreaks were also contributed to this surge. Although I picked up the word mitigation, still the tracing and isolation was performed on the patient, and social distancing was advocated and communicated on the general population. So what is peculiar in this case in the Korean society, I think one of the points is we set up the community treatment center. So this is not the hospital. This is just for observation and isolation of the mild patient. In Korea, many government organizations and private companies have a training institute far from the major cities. So this is for their own employee education. And initially, this training institute was utilized as the quarantine for returned overseas Korean residents. But when the patient surge happened, the government decided to keep the mild patient in this community center in these buildings. So we did not want to fill the hospital bed with this only mild patient. So this is one example. The National Football Team Training Facility, which is located in Paju, this is also converted to community treatment center for COVID patients. So one building was used for COVID patients, and one building was used for the healthcare workers. So the center had two missions. When the patients were isolated in the room and they were observed and when they clinically worsened, we sent the patient to the hospital. But majority of the patients just will keep well. They were very good health status, and we tested them. And when they finally turned out to be test negative and considered to be not transmissible, they were discharged home. So the community treatment center performed this kind of work. So at the maximum, there was 18 community treatment centers in the Korea. Usually, the community treatment center hosted 200 to 300 patients, and 4 doctors or 8 nurses about this kind of healthcare workers took care of them. And many of the IT technology was utilized because doctors and nurses cannot directly visit the patient. So we telephone many times, and we also had the mobile phone app and to check how patients were good or bad. And average 60 sample collections per day per center was performed to find out the negative patient. And around 2 to 3% of patients were referred to the hospitals. So more than 95% of the patients were good. So asymptomatic or mild patients can be cured out of hospital, I think, in this case, we showed. And only less than 1% of patients really progress to severe disease who needs the intensive care. So I also said that the telemedicine was widely utilized, and one of them was Google survey. We just use it to check the daily symptoms and their body temperatures. And second page, in the explosive page, was the upscaling of the examination system. There were some guidelines in the early page, whom to test and whom not to test. But in this page, the government and the doctors did not have any regulation on examination on SARS-CoV-2. If anybody wants to be tested, we just test everybody. And also, drive-through screening system was established in this period. Drive-through screening system is, it was just invented because when we test people in a separate room, we need to ventilate the room, we need to air of the room between the patient, and we need to change the protective equipment between patients. So there are when we test patients in rooms, it consumes many times, it consumes many personal equipment. So we just developed the drive-through system to reduce the interpatient transmission and to reduce the PPE consumption and to also to increase the volume of examination since it needs less time to perform the sample collection. Okay, so this is just a few examples which led to our story of the COVID-19 protection. And finally, we are in the declining phase. So currently, we are the community transmission is considered to be very small, and returned overseas Korean people from the America and Europe is the major population of the cases. So the government is under discussion for slow recovery of the social system. Okay, so this is what I have prepared, and I hope this will be helpful for you. And thank you for hearing my presentation. And thank you. And if you have any question, or can I have question right now, or I do.
Muchas gracias. Originalmente íbamos a llevar a cabo preguntas y respuestas al final de todas las presentaciones, pero mientras que todavía tenemos recibir algunas preguntas por ahora.
Muchas gracias. Déjenme pedir la palabra si hay preguntas, colegas, que puedan hacer ahora.
Dante.
Adelante, Florencia.
Florencia Castro Leal, economista en jefe del BCE. Mi pregunta sería, actualmente, ¿cuál es el número de casos que se están detectando por día?
We have less than 10 patients around this age right now.
Son más o menos alrededor de 10 pacientes que se confirman por día, pero la mayoría de ellos son las personas que llegan del exterior y casi es nulo el número de pacientes producido en las comunidades dentro de Corea.
Impresionante. Colegas, ¿alguna otra pregunta?
Presidente, desde Costa Rica.
Mauricio, adelante, por favor.
Gracias. Sí, me gustaría saber dos cosas. En el proceso en que se iniciaron las pruebas en estos módulos, no recuerdo cómo le llamaban, pero que eran que se hacían en el drive-thru. Pasaban los carros, más o menos en qué momento de la curva fue que se tomó la decisión de hacer ese tipo de pruebas. ¿Cuál es la justificación, digamos, si fue basado en el número de casos que había en ese momento o si fue porque se consideró que eso podría de alguna manera bajar la curva? Número uno. Y número dos, esas pruebas, ¿cuánto tiempo tomaban para tener el resultado de vuelta?
The idea of the drive-through exam system was kicked off when there was around 30 to 50 patients. So it was developed in the very early period. And the real drive-through system was established when the early exponential case. So when at the start of the surge of the patient, we established at the Daegu city, around the Daegu city. So and it was so I think we generally set up the system at the early stage of the large epidemic. And in general system, the patients drive the car and get tested and go home. And the sample was sent to the laboratory. And probably, I think, in 24 hours, the result of the test was sent to the patient by text message of the phone. But when the result was positive, the community health center sent some ambulance and doctors to the patient and tell the patient that they turned positive for the COVID-19 and get the patient and took the patient to the hospital or another facility. So it was usually performed within 24 hours, I think.
¿Quiere añadir, director Va?
제가 좀 우선 그 드라이브 스루 같은 경우에는 2월 말 3월 초 대구에서 환자들이 급증할 때
El drive-thru fue adoptado fines de febrero y principios de marzo, cuando la propagación empezó explosivamente en una ciudad llamada Daegu. Pero esta medida no fue introducida por la decisión del gobierno, sino fue propuesta de un gobierno subnacional. A través de testeo o de prueba realizada comúnmente en una instalación establecida exclusivamente para hacer este tipo de testeo, tenía limitaciones en cuanto al número de pacientes para hacer el testeo, ¿no? Por diferentes elementos. Pero con la introducción de esta medida de drive-thru, se ha contribuido a elevar el número de posibles pacientes, elevar el número de testeo o pruebas que se hacen diariamente. En Corea, comúnmente, el resultado de prueba se obtiene en 6 horas, pero cuando la propagación fue producida explosivamente en una fase de propagación explosiva, el resultado se obtuvo en 24 horas y en algunos casos más de 24 horas para obtener el resultado.
Okay. Muchas gracias. Me imagino que habrán tantas más preguntas, pero vamos a proceder con la segunda presentación y